This is Copenhagen, and these are the top 10 Premier League sign-ins to watch. At number 10 is Mohamed Salah. Having struggled to break into the starting lineup at Chelsea in 2014, Salah has enjoyed something of a renaissance period in Italy. An impressive loan stint with Fiorentina has been backed up by 2 stellar seasons at Roma, where he scored 29 league goals. His combination of pace and skill suggests he'll slot in pretty seamlessly to a Liverpool frontline that isn't exactly deprived of these qualities already. Since Salah was announced, excitement on Merseyside has been high, especially after continuing last season's wave of goal-scoring form into the pre-season. His ability to live up to the hype will be fun to follow. At 9 is Will Hughes at Watford. Will Hughes gets his long-awaited move to the Premier League after half a decade of speculation and occupying more than his fair share of gossip column real estate. When he's on song and fully firing, Hughes is a very good player and can cut the mustard against quality opposition, as evidenced by his man-of-the-match performance against Germany at the recent Under-21 European Championships. Unfortunately, injuries have scuppered his progress so far, so he will be hoping to stay fit and get a good run of games in Watford's starting side. If Hughes can properly establish himself in the midfield and deliver on his early career promise, he might one day graduate to be the full England international he once was touted to be. At 8 is Jairo Riederwald. After somewhat losing his way under new manager Peter Bosz at Ajax last season, Riederwald should, in theory, benefit from a reunification with his old mentor Frank de Boer. Consistent playing time at centre-half should see him improve after spending last season in limbo between midfield and defence. Where he fits in exactly remains to be seen, as de Boer decides between a 4-3-3 or a 3-4-3. As a technically gifted ball-playing defender, Palace's ambitions to play a more possession-orientated brand of football could depend on Riederwald's ability to acclimatise to the pace of the Premier League. At 7 is Jacob Murphy at Newcastle. Murphy topped off an impressive league season for Norwich in the Championship with a goal for England's under-21s against Poland in this summer's Euros. Also an England age group representative at under-18s, under-19s and under-20 level, he offers a pacey and direct alternative to Matt Ritchie out wide. But with Christian Atsu coming to Tyneside on a permanent basis, there will be stiff competition for places on the wing in Newcastle. Ritchie's impressive form last season means he's unlikely to be ousted anytime soon, but if Murphy can continue to develop and progress at the rate he's done so far, he should see a healthy amount of game time in the coming season. At 6 is Alexandre Lacazette at Arsenal. Arsenal's potential return to the Champions League will heavily depend on how Lacazette fares in making their transition across the channel. He scored a ton of goals in France, but then again, so did Marouane Chamakh. On paper, he's the kind of striker Arsenal have been calling out for, as his pace sets him apart from Oliver Giroud and his ability to finish consistently puts him a cut above Danny Welbeck. The Frenchman showed little glimpses of potential in the Charity Shield, with a neat touch leading to a narrowly missed finish that hit the post in the first half. His abilities shouldn't be doubted, but the question remains, as far as French Arsenal signings go, where will he figure on a scale of Squillaci to Henry? At 5 is Ederson at Man City. Claudio Bravo's stunning campaign to dethrone Simon Mignolet as the league's most blunderous and entertaining keeper has set the stage for another gripping narrative between the sticks at the Etihad. Like his predecessor, Ederson will be expected to play out from the back and set the tone for City's passing game, whilst bringing a degree of calm and solidarity to the backline that was, let's be honest, severely missed last season. Whether he can do this consistently remains in question, considering he's yet to appear for a Brazilian national team that isn't exactly overloaded with goalkeeping talent at the moment. Clearly Pep sees something that Chiche doesn't. If Ederson fails to adapt to the English game, Pep could go trophyless for only the second time in his career. At 4 is Tom Ince at Huddersfield. Much like his former Derby teammate Will Hughes, Tom Ince will be given the chance to live up to all that potential we hear about, this time at Premier League new boys Huddersfield. Unlike Hughes, this will be Ince's third bite at the Premier League cherry after failing to make an impact for Crystal Palace and Hull. If he can showcase the dribbling and trickery that once had Inter Milan and Monaco seeking his services, Huddersfield could be an entertaining watch this season, as they look to continue with manager David Wagner's Dortmund-like style of play. Ince in particular could thrive in a more continental approach that was lacking at his previous top-flight clubs. At 3 is Davy Klassen at Everton. With Ross Barkley given his marching orders by Ronald Koeman, Klassen will be asked to take the creative reins at Goodison Park. The Dutch international has tallied double figures in goals in 3 out of his 4 seasons at Ajax, to go along with 32 assists. However, as is always the case with signings from the Eredivisie, the focus will be on whether Klassen can handle the step up in quality to the Premier League. Will he be the next Alfonso Alves or the second coming of Christian Eriksen? His experience in Europe and at international level should stand him in good stead to succeed, but only time will tell. At number 2, it's none other than Javier Hernandez at West Ham. Chicharito returns to the Premier League after a reasonable fruitful spell in La Liga and the Bundesliga. He averaged around a goal every 2 games for Leverkusen, so West Ham would be happy to get a similar return, having been deprived of any double-digit scorers in the league last season. His ability to thrive as the leading front man will be fascinating to monitor, especially having played only second fiddle for the majority of his Premier League stint with Man United. The Mexican should benefit from playing alongside fellow new boy and creative enigma Marko Arnautovic, or of course the imperious playmaker and footballing genius that's Andy Carroll. And at 1 is Alvaro Morata at Chelsea. Morata will be given the unenviable task of ushering in the post-Costa era up front of the current champions. Although he won't provide anywhere near the same level of niggle and aggression towards opposing defenders as Costa, Marauder is of a similar physical stature and has displayed an impressive work rate throughout his career thus far. He performed well off the bench for Real Madrid last season, scoring 20 goals in all competitions, so it's fair to assume he'll relish the chance of becoming first-choice striker. And it's looking like Chelsea's title defence is going to hinge on whether their new front man's game translates well on English shores. Now that's Copper90's top 10 Premier League signings to watch for the 2017-18 season. But did we miss out on someone? If so, let us know in the comment section below. And of course, don't forget to like the video and subscribe.